Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino listener by me. This video was requested by one of my channel members, and without further ado, let's get into it. Despite your predicament, you like to go on walks, your cane tapping against the slick cobblestones. You've always liked the sound they make, and it's usually these walks, when Fontaine's really quiet, where you find yourself enjoying nature, hearing the wind, the birds, and everything this nation has to offer. You don't notice the quiet footsteps approaching until they stop just a few paces ahead. "Careful," a woman says, her voice sharp, low, controlled in that way that only people use to command sound. "The road's uneven ahead." You pause, your head tilting slightly. Her voice isn't familiar, and yet there is a gentleness behind it. "Thank you. You sound like someone who's used to giving orders." There is a pause, then a chuckle. "Perhaps," she admits. "And you sound like someone who doesn't take them easily." You smile faintly. You're not quite wrong. You hear the scrape of boots on stone as she moves closer, her steps measured. "What brings you out here in this cold?" "Old habits. I'd like to walk near the square when it's quiet. Easier to listen." "To listen?" "Yes, to everything, really. The wind, the water, the birds, nature, really." She hums thoughtfully. You can't see her, but you can almost feel her eyes on you, sharp and curious. You know the type. You've heard the tone before, from guards, from novels, from people who live by instinct and authority. Then she says, "You're blind." You nod, unbothered. Hasn't stopped me yet. Another sound swallows, not cold, but considering. "You have courage. Not many walk alone around here." "Is that a warning I hear?" "No, I'm merely observing. Fontaine is not particularly kind to the vulnerable." You tilt your head, a teasing edge creeping into your tone. "And which are you? One of the kind ones, or the dangerous ones?" "It depends, truly. Depending on who you are. But I suppose I'll be kind for now." You let out a quiet laugh. That's reassuring. And you meet her again by chance a few days later. Or perhaps it isn't truly chance. You're not naive enough to think that someone with a voice like that leaves things to fate. This time you're sitting on a bench near the fountain, listening to the sound of children. The water splashes gently. "Do you have a preference for the cold?" the familiar voice says, and you turn slightly toward her. "Still giving advice no one asked for?" She chuckles again, low and amused. "You've got a sharp tongue on you." "So I've been told." She sits beside you. You feel the air shift as her coat brushes yours. Even her presence carries weight, a quiet command that makes the world still a little. "You never gave me your name." "Arlecchino." You freeze. You've heard that name before, whispered by guards, spoken with fear by travelers, and even mentioned in papers. She is the one and only knave, one of the Fatui Harbingers. And you try to hide the surprise in your tone. That's quite the introduction. "And yours?" You tell her her name, and her voice softens slightly when she repeats it. You lean back, cane resting across your lap. So, why is someone like you wasting time with someone like me? Because you're interesting. Interesting? You talk to me like I'm not dangerous. Maybe because I can't see the danger. Her reply is immediate, but there is something under it. Protective, almost tears. Or maybe you refuse to. We'll have to see which is it. And then it becomes a strange sort of routine after that. Arlecchino visits you during her rare breaks from fit-to-be business, sometimes bringing coffee, sometimes nothing at all. You talk for hours, and she listens in a way most people don't. Not out of pity, but with genuine attention. One day, as you sit together, you reach out instinctively when you hear her sigh. You sound tired. She laughs softly. And you can tell? I can tell everything. The way you cross your arms, the way you breathe, even how your tone drops when you're pretending to be fine. Then, she says quietly, with a little bit of snark in her tone, despite being blind yourself, you see a lot more than most people do. You chuckle. That's the nicest thing you've said to me. Don't get used to it, she says, but there's warmth in her voice regardless. The kind that makes your chest ache and makes you realize you will probably hear more of that. And so as the weeks pass, her visits grow longer, softer. You begin to get used to her mannerisms, to everything. And even though you can't see her, a part of you wants to imagine how she feels, how she looks like. Arlecchino, may I feel your face? I want to imagine it, if you would let me. She hesitated. Then she grabbed your hand, putting it over her cheek. You may. And so you begin caressing it, your fingers brushing gently over her face, her nose, where her eyes are, everything. And then, the picture that came into your mind was something absolutely beautiful, just like how you imagined she would be. And you could only wonder, how many more times would you be able to have this? And just how much more you can ask for. Because you're certain that you will only ever want more.